And yes, my name is Lara. I'm a customer success manager over at Vettery. Been at the company for a little over 2.5 years now, and I will be the one showing you the platform today. Before we get started, though, we do have a quick poll for you guys. So, Ryan, if you could just go ahead and launch the poll. And while we were waiting for everyone to fill out.
I've got the poll up there. So can you see it, or everybody can see it? I see some votes coming in here. What is your estimated what is your estimated candidate response rate for outbound recruiting outreach using LinkedIn, email, whatever you're using, text messaging? Go ahead and answer that, and that'll help Lara kick off.
Great, thank you so much. Yeah. While we're waiting for everyone to just select their answer here, I'll go ahead and get started. So I'm not too sure how familiar everyone is with Vettery, but basically we're an online talent marketplace. So we're really just trying to help connect companies with top talent. And right now we do this across technology, sales, and finance. And at a super high level, you can basically think of it like a reverse job board where you're the one reaching out to top-notch candidates, but unqualified candidates reaching out to you. And the way this works is, so every month we have thousands of candidates applying to be featured on the Vettery platform. And from there, our algorithm just scans their profile, looking for, the desirable skill set, experience, and then based on our current client activity, we're able to predict if the candidate would actually be a good fit for the platform, if they'd be in demand, and if that's the case, we'll just go ahead and add them to the platform. And from there on, you'd be able to reach out to them. So I will just go ahead and pretend I'm a recruiter looking for a senior backend engineer position. One thing that I will mention though is, so this is a staging environment, so we'll run a search, but all the profiles that will show up, candidate names, company names, those are not real. Candidate privacy is something that's obviously super important to us, so I just wanted to make everyone aware of that. So I'll just go ahead and click into technology. So this is the biggest vertical that we have. First up is just the role name. So you could type in senior engineer, for example. All the filters will just save under that. It's really nice because next time you log in, you don't have to put them in again. They'll just pop up right away and you can jump into the candidate pool. Then let's say we're looking for a senior backend engineer. So we can just select backend as well as full stack there. You can also filter for contract positions. Full-time is always the default, but I know with everything going on that some clients also like to search for contract, so that's definitely a possibility that we have. For the years of experience, I'll just go ahead with my senior person here, so I'll go ahead and select 4 to 6 as well as 6+ years. The years of experience, they indicate how many years the candidate has been in the role that you selected. So by selecting really the 4 to 6 and 6+ years here, we'll be able to see candidates who have 6 to 10+ years experience as an engineer. We'll then go ahead and select the role location. So let's just pretend we're looking for New York. You can also filter for remote candidates. The huge amount of candidates are open to remote these days. I have lots of clients who are now also looking for remote candidates, so that's definitely a great way to increase the candidate pool by a lot. So this would be a toggle that you could turn on right here as well. We also have the ability to search for a security clearance. So I'll just leave this for now, but if you ever have a role that would be, required, you could put that in here. We'll then go ahead, click Add Skills. So these skills that pop up right here, those are just suggestions based on the backend full stack engineer role that we selected. Let's just pretend we're looking for someone that has a strong Java background. We do have a search library of over 300 skills. So if you ever, looking for something a little bit more niche or just something that didn't pop up right underneath here, you can type it in right here and then select the skill. We also have the way to search for either a must-have versus a nice-to-have skill. So let's say the Java is an absolute must-have. You'd be able to click that right here. So you could put that in. You can always select multiple skills this way as well, but we always want to focus just on the most important ones. You can then go ahead, click Add Preferences. So the first thing that shows up is the ideal salary. This is something that the candidates put on their profile themselves. They select that number, so it's always good to keep in mind that sometimes candidates can be a little bit flexible there. Sometimes they want to see what's possible, so always take that with a grain of salt. But if you ever want to change that, you can obviously do that. You also have the option to search for different degree levels. Most of the candidates we have at least a bachelor's degree. If you ever need someone that has specifically computer science degree, you'd also be able to turn that on right here. We'll just leave it blank for now though, because that's usually what most of my clients do as well. The candidate requirement section is pretty important. Just let's say you're looking for a candidate that won't require sponsorship. There is a specific toggle for that. You can turn that on. That way you'll only see candidates who either are citizens or who already have a green card. The next toggle is interested in your company. So this is just an extra benefit. Let's say, you're seeing a candidate that has indicated they're interested in your company. That will just mean that once you reach out to them, they'll most likely around 90 to 95% of the time accept your interview request. So we'll even get your interview acceptance rate even higher. We also just recently launched a partnership with General Assembly, which is really amazing just in case you're looking for some more entry-level candidates, maybe someone who's just recently completed a boot camp over at General Assembly, one of those courses there. You can filter for those right there, so you'd always be able to do that as well. It really makes the pool a little more diverse as well. The last filter that we have is the Boolean keyword search. So this is a great skill, great requirement for everything that's a little bit more niche. So let's say you're looking for a skill that might not be listed on someone's profile, but might be listed on their resume, or you're looking for a candidate to come from a specific company. You can just type that in, it scans their resume, and it will just find you those candidates that match what you're looking for. Once you've filled out all these filters, you'd go ahead and select Save and see those matches. So this will load right now. And just as a reminder, this is a staging environment, so none of these names and pictures are actually real. This number, just a heads up, it's also not completely correct just because it is a staging environment. But one thing that I do want to mention is that all the candidates that we have on Vettery are either open to new opportunities or even actively looking. So when you look at the number, you might think it's a little small compared to, other tools like LinkedIn, but different from LinkedIn, where everyone has a profile and many people are not currently looking for a new position. Many of them are happily employed. Here on Vettery, all the candidates are open to having a conversation with you. So that's just really good to keep in mind. That's also why our interview acceptance rate is 60%. So once you reach out to candidates, you'll always hear back with a yes or no decision within 3 business days. And then from those, around 60% will actually accept your interview request. So let's pretend, you're looking for that Java engineer. You come across someone that you think looks pretty good. You want to see a little bit more about their background, you just go ahead and click View Profile. We'll just open up nicely. You'll see a little bit more about their background, experience, skills, employment history, education. On the right side, we usually have a resume as well. So you'd be able to, expand a new tab, really take a close look at the candidate's resume. If you think this person looks great, but I just quickly want to share this with my coworker, you'd be able to mention their name here and click Add Note. That way, once you do that, your coworker will receive an email with the direct link to the candidate's profile. So that's a super easy way to share profiles on the platform directly. You also have the option to either save or hide candidates. But let's say you really like this candidate and you decide that you want to have a conversation. So you go ahead and click Request Interview. So this is just the form that will pop up. The first thing that you'll see here is the salary. This is automatically populated from what the candidate has put on their profile. You can always leave that. It's more like a quick checkpoint to make sure you're looking for something around the same range. You can always change the number you can put in a 0. A 0 will just show up as open to discussion. And then you'd obviously be able to click bonus equity, whatever applies. You can put in the title for the role. And then we have a quick messaging template right here. So this is just the one we have over here at Vettery. It's the one we have around 60% interview acceptance rate for. Obviously, many candidates really like to see something a little bit more personal. So you can always, edit that, say a couple other things, whatever you think will spark their interest. And then you go ahead and click request interview. What happens when you click request interview? So the candidate will receive an email with all this information as well as quick description of your company. They then have the option to either click accept or decline. If they accept it, you'll automatically be connected by email. You can just email back and forth. It works like any other email, so there's no messaging on the Vettery platform. Super easy. You don't have to log in. You can just do it from your regular email. If they decline, you'll also get a notification and the quick reason why usually, just so you're aware. One thing that is super important to know, though, is that all the candidates on Vettery, they work really closely with the candidate specialist that assigned to them. So just like every company has a Vettery representative, all the candidates also have someone that they closely work with. So once you do send that interview request, the Vettery representative as well as the candidate specialist are BCC'd on that interview request. So the reason for that is simply, let's say you guys are emailing back and forth and suddenly one party no longer responds to the other one. We're able to see that and can follow up with either party just to make sure that nothing falls through the cracks. And one thing that we also do is, let's say, you really like the candidate, you're moving them towards the final stages. We actually hop on a discovery call with them, see how they feel about the opportunity, see, if they have other opportunities going on, maybe they even have some offers on the table. So in case that's the case, we're able to relay that intel to you, so you hopefully don't ever lose a candidate for the wrong reasons. Like you can expedite your process, whatever you think you need to do in order to close the candidate. So that's just another layer that we have over here. So I'll just go out of this person's profile right now. But this is basically how the platform works. We do add new candidates every Monday at 9 a.m. local time. So right now we do have these all topics saved and hidden. Starting the next Monday, there will be a new tab that says new. So let's say you've been on the Vettery platform for quite a bit. You've looked through the majority of the candidate pool. Starting the next week, you'd be able to just check out the new candidates, so you don't have to, retroactively go through all of them again. You'd just always be able to see the new ones right in that batch. So this is basically how the platform works. We do also integrate with your Google Calendar or Office 365 to make scheduling a lot easier. We also integrate with Lever and Greenhouse bidirectionally, really just streamline the process. But if you are obviously interested in taking a personal demonstration and want to check out the actual profile, we're more than happy to connect you with someone at Vettery. We can give you a rundown, and that's also when you'll get the Whole Foods gift card, $100. Perfect timing for Thanksgiving. So get that big turkey. Awesome, Ryan. Do we have any questions?
We do, and I've got to take myself off of mute in order to get there. Okay, so we do have a few questions, and so we have some questions around the tool. Is the tool only for tech talent, or do you have other professionals too, i.e. finance, scientists, mechanical engineers, and administrative?
Yes, great question. So we do have another sales and a business vertical. So the technical vertical is the biggest one. It's where most of our candidates we are in. Sales is another pretty big one. So we have everything from, sales development reps to account managers, account executives, sales operations, all those kind of roles would be in there. Okay. So that's another big one. The business one is the smallest one. We do have them in like big cities. So let's say like San Francisco, New York. So definitely some finance candidates as well. But I definitely say like the tech and the sales are the biggest one. And tech really has everything. There's product management, design, DevOps, QA, regular engineers. So it's quite a big vertical. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let me see here. We have how often do you update I'm sorry. How often do let me reread that. How often do candidates update their availability and how do you get new talent into the system?
Yes. So how often do we update? So basically, once a candidate receives an interview request and they, for example, say they're no longer looking for a role, we do get that information and we go in and take them off. So that's just a way in which we make sure that, only the most active candidates are currently on the platform. That's one way we go about it. We also just, check in with them regularly, like in general. But I think that's like the easiest way for us to figure out if they're no longer looking.
Okay.
So that it is pretty up to date. In regards to your other question, where do we get candidates from? So they come from a variety of sources. So we obviously we do a lot of marketing. We have paid ads, things like that. But we also get a really big chunk of candidates actually from word of mouth and referrals. So a lot of times a candidate has a really great experience on a platform, and they let their friend know about that, their peer know about that, and then we just get a lot of referrals that way. So we've really seen lots of candidates come inbound that way. We also do events, targeted outreach, so really just a variety of sources there.
Got it. Okay. And we have areas of coverage. Can you run through that again? The regions that you guys are in.
Yes. So it's basically the major U.S. markets, so pretty much all the big cities, New York, San Francisco, by far, like it's our biggest markets. We have tons of candidates there. We also in Canada, so Toronto, Kitchener-Waterloo, we have that. We do have London and Dublin as well, so we're there internationally. We have a ton of really amazing remote candidates, so even candidates that are outside of those bigger cities, we do have them as well.
Right. Okay. And let's see, we got maybe two or three more here.
Mhm.
You may have gone through this already, but can you run through your vetting process and how you're ensuring quality on the candidates?
Yeah, of course. So basically, once a candidate applies to be on the platform, we do have our in-house algorithm that just, scans them, scans the profile, looks at their background, their skills. We obviously only want to bring candidate on that match like the roles that we have on the platform, so that we would just, make sure that it would be a good fit. And then, with everything, we have so many clients using the platform on a daily basis, we're able to predict if they'd actually be someone that they'd be reached out to. So we do that, and then we also have, like I mentioned, the candidate specialists that work really closely with them. They're the ones that give the final stamp of approval on the profile. So
Right.
they're also the ones, like the manual people behind it. We do not do coding exercises if someone asked that question, just because we decided that, every company has a little bit different coding exercises, different, levels they need. So we don't want to, kick anyone off or let people on. So we just want to make it fair that way. So every company can decide for themselves if the person would actually be a good fit for them or not.